Welcome to DROD'S MMA and Boxing. As you guys know, the full breakdown of the fight between Kell Brook and Errol Spence will be this Saturday. And before I do that, though, I had to drop this video, and hopefully I don't get hit with any type of copyright infringement based upon this video. But listen, some disgusting things I've read and saw in the social media in the last couple of days that made me put out this video. First of all, no reporter, no keyboard warrior has the right to question the heart and the will of a fighter. If you've never taken a punch before, you should never question the fighter's heart. I mean, I've been seeing so many things that's been disrespectful to Kell Brook about how he quit and how he's a quitter. One reporter who I respect a lot, and I had to get on his Twitter and I had to correct that man. He likened it to MMA, about how boxers should take after MMA fighters who never quit, who never give up, who fight through thick and thin. I mean, who are you to question a fighter's heart? That stuff disgusted me, considering the fact that this man gave it his all for 11 rounds, took hard punches, gave some back. He should be applauded. He should be given nothing but praises for what he's done. But instead, he loses a fight and he's getting booed, he's getting talked about. People are writing horrible articles about him in the media, all types of horrible memes from people who doesn't even have the same balls to jump in the ring and take the same type of punishment. If you've never had to cut weight and starve yourself and dehydrate yourself to get in the ring and take punches to the body, to have long-term effects, if you've never done that, you should never open your mouth. Never. It baffles me to hear people question this man's heart, all because he stopped fighting because he fractured his eye socket. Who are you? This is ridiculous. It's absurd, in my honest opinion. It is absurd for a writer, for a so-called journalist, for a YouTube blogger, any type of blogger, to question a man's heart and to put out material that is damaging to his credibility and to his character. You know, even if I had experienced a broken orbital eye bone, I don't have the right to speak about another man's life because his timeline is different than my timeline. What I've gone through and my experiences is different from his. I don't have the right to judge him in any shape, form, or fashion, especially when I wasn't the one out there. I wasn't the one getting punched in the face. I wasn't the one getting my body beaten. What do people expect? Do they want people to die in the ring? Is that what you want? I mean, considering the fact Nick Blackwell almost died in the ring last year, considering the fact that all these people have been dying in the ring and taking long-term effects. Muhammad Ali, brain damage because he stayed in too long, took unnecessary punishment. Knowing the risk of this sport, why would so-called journalists produce material that is so disrespectful? I can't even think of another word. It's atrocious to me. It is horrible. I can't believe it. And for me as a boxing fan, this is why I created this channel, because I wanted to combat the biased media that was out there and erroneous writings that has been destroying this sport. How could you liken boxing to MMA when boxing is ahead of MMA? MMA is trying to catch up to boxing. I mean, we don't ever have to have another boxing fight ever in history. We can go back and watch all the great fights of Thriller in Manila. Hearns versus Leonard. Hearns versus Hagler. De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. De La Hoya versus Shane Mosley. De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas. Floyd Mayweather against DeMarcus Chop Chop Corley. We got so many. Ward versus Gotti. So many exciting and thrilling fights that we can sit back and chew on and examine for the rest of our lives. And they don't have to put another one, and MMA would still be catching up. And I love MMA because I'm a martial artist myself. But let's be real. Why would MMA has a lot to learn? I remember when they first created, they said nobody would. I mean, that having these lighter gloves mean that less people would get brain damage. And come to find out, people are still dying in MMA rings. People are still getting brain damage. You see now guys like Junior Dos Santos no longer able to take a punch. As soon as you hit him, he gets knocked out. Alistair Overeem, all these people who have symptoms of having their brains shook, no longer the same fighters anymore. Yet still, we're trying to become more like MMA. If anything, boxers should return back to his old state where the best fought the best, and it didn't matter whether or not you had a win on your record or not, a loss on your record, I'm sorry. But we just enjoy the performance that was put out there, and that you were congratulated for being warriors. It's to me, it's asinine. It's absurd. I can't believe that this man had a broken eye socket, and you can visibly see this man hurt, and you can hear the interview him saying that he couldn't see properly, knowing that what he went through in the previous fights. You know what I mean? It's insane to me, because Kell Brook, when he fought Gennady Golovkin, he was a warrior. He contested the decision by his cornerman. He wanted to keep fighting. He wanted to keep going. But as that man got older and wisdom began to set in, he realized, wait a minute, the fight is over. I can't see anymore. Why should I continue to get beaten down to an oblivion? It makes no sense. And what he did was he prevented his own demise. There's already no telling what type of long-term effects, because I'm here to tell you, every time a fighter get hit in the head, there is long-term effects. Every time a fighter get hit in the body, there's long-term effects. Effects that you will never be able to see with your physical eye. And to me, if you're out there and you guys are listening to these boxing channels that is crushing the heart of this man, if you're reading articles from magazines, newspapers, websites, boxing websites that are questioning this man's heart because he quit, I'm telling you right now that those are incredulous sources, and you should not be wasting your time with those sources. Those sources have no credibility, and they have no right to speak about boxing or any combat sport. Because like I said, if you're not in the ring, in there getting hit in the head, if you're not the one getting concussions, you have no right and no credibility to speak. Yeah, you can talk about a man's heart while you sit back and write papers about what this man did. It's disgusting to me. This is DROD'S MMA and Boxing. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment at the bottom. And I thank you guys for listening to my rant. Peace out.